we are gonna talk about toxic relationship, toxicity in relationship, because that has been the recent trend. So let's talk about what is love and then what is toxicity.
Okay, firstly, I want to appreciate you for hosting me tonight. I believe today is going to be a good session. I actually have a rule. The rule for me is to first understand what everything means.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's something that is generic for me. If you tell me that, oh, this is a cap, I'll first ask, what is a cap?
Okay.
That is what plays in my head. I want to understand things for what they really are, which I believe that if we have that lifestyle, it will help us have good fundamentals, basics for things. But I've realized that in this our world, people are so used to knowing what things are used for instead of knowing what those things really are.
Okay.
Let me quickly go back into what we have to say tonight. When we're talking about toxicity, love, relationship, all these things are things that we really need to define. And we defining this will help us to understand what is wrong and what is right. First, I want to talk about relationship before I say love.
Okay, interesting. Please
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, relationship. When we hear the word relationship, the first thing that shows up in our mind is body relationship. If I say, oh, I'm in a relationship with Cindy, what's the first thing that shows up in your own head, Cindy? It's like, okay, what's this guy saying?
Okay.
But sincerely, this we are doing is a relationship.
Definitely it is.
Yeah, it's a relationship. Relationship is a transaction. It's a means to meet a need.
Okay.
As simple as that. Relationship is what? A transaction. A means to meet a need. As simple as that. So the idea of relationship is that two people or more come together to form alliance to do better in various aspects of life. Professionally, domestically, academically, emotionally, financially, spiritually, and in any other lead that is existing, in joining to arrange their lives better in every way. So it's that simple. So relationship is two people or two or more people coming together to share what they have, what one person can.
Two good heads, right?
Yeah, two good heads are better than one. Yeah, what one person can achieve when they are two, you will achieve far more and faster. And that coming together, that union, that unity, that unity is what is called relationship. So the coming together to meet a particular need for each other is what relationship is. So we need to clarify that. If you want to be in a relationship with someone, you need to know what need that person is meeting for you. You need to know what need you are meeting for the person. It is transactional. Don't forget that word, transactional. Transactions may not go well. There is nothing wrong about that. It is normal for transaction to either go good or not go good. So we need to keep that in mind. You could have transactions with people without loving them. Is that not true?
Very true.
Yeah, you could have things to do with people or for people without loving them. So you can be in relationship with someone without loving them. That is definitely possible, because it is just for them to meet a need, and it is for your own need also to be met. So you need to keep that in mind. So when you say you are in relationship, probably you never understood what relationship is. You are only responding to something else that is not relationship. So if you go into relationship or go into a romantic relationship with the mindset of what relationship is really about, you will definitely not have too much issues. So you really need to understand what relationship is. Relationship is to meet a particular need for each other. Now, this Need now may now be psychological, it may be physical, it may be financial, and whatever way, it may be spiritual, it may be professional, it may be domestical.
Okay.
You get, and that is why when people get to meet each other, you see there is something the guy is expecting from you. There is something you are expecting from the guy. All these expectations you are actually talking about or thinking about is the transaction.
Right.
That has nothing to do with love.
Okay.
There is a need I have in my life. There is a need you have in my life. Okay, probably if I meet this lady, probably she would meet that need for me. You're having a transaction, and that transaction is what is actually happening. There was one particular issue that I was dealing with. A guy was talking about a lady and said, I used you and dumped you. And the lady said, I actually used you and dumped you. So they started having the argument, and I used you and dumped you, I used you and dumped you, I used you and dumped you, and it was like that. And later, the two of them came to a point that, do you think that when we are having sex, I wasn't enjoying myself also? I was also enjoying myself. So what is the use and dump there? We both enjoyed ourselves. So there's no use and dump. Do you get that now? They were both having transaction, and each person's need was met.
Okay.
So very simple. That has nothing to do with love. Yeah. Now, I think I've explained relationship now. It is for your needs to be met.
Shall we?
Yeah, and you need to be very, very clear-headed about that. So you going into a relationship with a guy or a lady, or you want to go into marriage, the two of you must know the kind of needs you'll be meeting for each other. And that is why you see so funny in some environments of the world where it is only the man that gets to meet some kinds of need, and the woman is not in that space of meeting certainly. But in some other countries, it's actually not that way. But you both need to understand that, okay, this thing is called relationship. And what I said right now, there are actually things you can also meet where even outside of romantic relationship.
Okay.
You can have that between colleagues. You can have that between family, siblings. You can have that between boss and a staff. Yeah. So all these relationship I talk about, you can actually still have all these.